Good evening, guys. Say good evening, guys. Um, good evening, folks. It's your bro, Richie Rich here again. Tonight in this video is now another extended video of the previous Pontiac Firebird video, and right now I am currently on engines. So, so I'm currently on the next engine. So I've done 1970. Now I'm on the next one, which is both 1971 and 1972. So you wonder why I'm like this is because I've been doing a little bit of workouts, so just pretty good. But pretty good staying active, fit, healthy. So it's very important that I do so. So hopefully I'll get to the stage I want to, and hopefully it pays off. But it'll take time to maintain this. It's not just that, but also the proper diet and the exercise I do. Because usually I do like push-ups, sit-ups, but mostly like running, jumping jacks. So jumping jacks like this, like jumping up and down doing that, because it's really good to stay fit and healthy and strong. So as long as I keep that momentum going, as long as I maintain that all balanced out, hopefully it'll work. It'll work well. But I will do more in a little bit after I do the video. I've done a little bit, I did warm-ups. I done half a little bit of the workout, but I'll still do more when I end the video here. And also remember, it's always important to do warm-ups, because if you start doing exercising right now without a warm-up, then you would feel like muscle contractions, like you'll get cramps and it'll hurt. So always remember to do warm-ups before you start, because if you don't, you're gonna be in such chronic pain. It'll take a while just to ease the pain off, but it's always important that you always do warm-ups, because that is the most important and crucial thing you guys have got to know about this. So with that being said, let's continue. So before I continue on from where I left off, from last time, from the last video, make sure you guys all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so that when I make pretty uploads. And one more thing, and a lot of you guys might be wondering, are you gonna do videos back at college? Truth be told, no, because today was actually our final day for college, so it went well. So we did incredibly well. Honestly, I'm just happy like that we managed to get where we are, and we succeeded, and that's the most important thing in life. We always succeed. Even if we fail, we continue trying until we try and do as much as we can to succeed in life. That's how it goes. Like, if you get knocked down, you always get yourself back up. And if you can't do something, and just ask for like either help or just try and give it a go. And if you think you can't do it, just take a moment to think and say to yourself that you can do things, that you can actually try and do it, to maintain that proposition balance, and so you get better. Because if you don't do that, then all this negativity and nothing that's positive in life will always get to your way, and it would affect everything for you, and it's just gonna like affect like reputation and everything, like reputation and all that stuff. But as long as you put your mind to it, you can accomplish almost anything. Literally, I mean, like if you keep practicing it a lot, you will get better in life, yeah, especially in the near future. So, with that being said, let's get started with tonight's video. So, we'll continue from where I left off to. So, tonight I'm still doing the Pontiac Firebird. Still in the Gen 2. I'm almost done with this. I just got only the engines and the total production, like production totals of how many cars are made in total throughout the years of its lifespan. But I'll do what I can do. I can like scrounge up from this. But anyways, before I start, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell and hit all so you later do I make brand new uploads. Okay, so without any further ado, let's continue. So right now I'm on engines. So so right now I am on 1971, I think. Oh man, I forgot where I left off to. So I figured I'll just start from the beginning. If I've done it, I'm sorry, but if I haven't, then I would have continued on. But yep. But I'll get this done in no time. Don't worry. So let's do it. Let's do it. So starting off with the first one is from 1970. The proper classic years for muscle cars. Also the 60s, they were like pretty good years for muscle cars. 80s, yeah, they were kind of okay, but not really. Like it didn't really have like the soul or like the childhood like fun. Like it didn't really have like the soul of what the 60s and 70s did, because those were like the proper classic years, like the real proper classic muscle car years. With these 80s, yeah, they were good, but they didn't feel right. As I mean, they did feel a little bit more modern, and same with the 90s. But the 60s and 70s, they were like the proper classic years for muscle cars. I'll always go with that. And also 80s and 90s and 2000s and some modern muscle cars as well. But with the 60s and 70s, they just felt real. They just felt like proper. Like literally, they just felt realistic. So, starting off with the first one, there is, so from 1970 to 1981. So there's a total of 11 motors. God Lord. Unbelievable. But I will attempt to legit get all of these. I will legit attempt to get all of these ticked off. Like literally every piece of these engines done. So let's do it. Alright, with that being said, let's get started. So the first engine we got is from 1970. The start of the very early classic 70s. During a proper era for muscle cars. So for the first one, we got the 4.1 liter 250 L22 Chevy. So 4.1 liter 250 Chevy L22 inline 6, which made about 155 horsepower. So not much, but oh well. That was an inline 6. So 4.1 liter 250 Chevy L22 inline 6, making 155 horsepower. It didn't really feel like the proper engine at all, which it wasn't really. It just didn't feel sporty at all. I mean, 155 horsepower is nothing. But this next one is much better. So the next motor we got is the mighty 5.7 liter 350 Pontiac L30 VA motor. That's right, a 5.7 liter 350 Pontiac L30 VA motor, which that made a whopping 255 horsepower, so 100 more than the inline 6, which is pretty good. It's pretty powerful for not bad for 1970. And then we got the 6.6 liter uh, 400 Pontiac L60 Pontiac L60 L6 Pontiac L65 V8, which that made 265 horsepower, so 10 horsepower more than the original L30 5.7 liter V8. 10 horsepower is not much, but at least it's an increase. That's not too bad. Alright, the next one we got is the same exact motor layout, 6.6 liter 400, but this time it's a Pontiac L78 V8 instead of the L65, which that made bunch more power. That had an extra 65 horsepower increase from 265 to 300 to a massive 330 horsepower. That's pretty good. From a 6.6 liter 400 L78 Pontiac V8, 330 horsepower. That's pretty good. Yeah, there's bad weather out there. It's raining. But well, the next one we got is the same exact motor layout, but this time it's a Ram Air 3 V8, known as the L74, which that made a little bit more power, 335 horsepower, so 5 more than the original L78. But that was for the automatic. For the manual, it made 345 horsepower. So 10 horsepower difference for the L74, depending on the gearbox you have. So depending on the transmission you get for the same car, we'll also verify like the differences depending on the power output the car has. So depending on the gearbox you have, will also depend on the power output your car has. Because automatics tend to be less powerful and slower than their manual counterparts, which they're more powerful and faster and lighter and smaller, because the automatics are bigger and heavier. It's like because the automatics are bigger and heavier, so bigger and heavier at that time still, and they are even to this day as well. So where's that? So it's a 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L78 V8, 330 horsepower. Or right, Jack. So yeah, 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L74 Ram Air 3 V8 with 335 horsepower for the automatic and 345 horsepower for the manual. 10 horsepower difference there. It's not much, but at least it's an increase. Next is the mighty LS1. Same motor configuration, but it's this time an LS1, and it's the Ram Air 4 V8. Instead of the Ram Air 3, it's the Ram Air 4 V8. So Ram Air 4 V8. So Ram Air 4 V8, which made a bit more power to it. 345 horsepower for the automatic, and for the manual, a whopping 370 horsepower. 370 horsepower, that's pretty good. All hatches make that kind of power as well. If you know, like the Focus RS, A45 AMG S, or just regular A45 AMG Mercedes. What else? Not a Civic Type R. I mean, yeah, sure, made 320-ish horsepower, but nowhere near as the Focus RS or the Mercedes AMGs. Like, with their smaller motors, they're just fast as hell because they're smaller, lighter. Unbelievable, literally. So for the we also got two 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac V8s. One is an L74 Ram Air 3, which made 335 horsepower for the automatic and 345 for the manual. And the other one is a LS1, not an L74, but an LS1 Ram Air 4 V8, which the automatics made 345 horsepower. Say 335 horsepower. The manual 370 horsepower, which is pretty good. The next one we got is in 1971 and 1972. So both 71 and 72 had the same exact inline six, the 4.1 liter 250 Chevy L22 inline six. But this time, unfortunately, it had a huge power decrease, just by 45 horsepower. So it went down from 155 to a snail pacing 110 horsepower. Unbelievable. Just a 45 horsepower decrease. That is a huge disadvantage for this. The next one we got is the L30 V8. Same as the previous one, but this one's a little bit different. So the first L30 V8 is 5.7 liter 350 is a CID Pontiac V8, which made 165 horsepower. Then we got the same V8, the same L30 engine, but it's not a CID. It's just a regular 5.7 liter 350 Pontiac L30 V8, which that made only 175 horsepower, so 10 horsepower more than the CID. Then we got two versions. We got two Pontiac, two 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L65 V8s. Whereas the first one made 180 horsepower, the second one 200 horsepower. Then we got another 6.6 liter Pontiac L78 400 V8, which was decreased from 330 to 250 horsepower. 80 horsepower decrease, but oh well. I still go. Out of those two, I picked the one with 330 horsepower every day of the week. The next one we got is the L75, not the L74, but the L75 V8. So this one's much bigger, but still had less power than the L74. This one had the 7.5 liter 455 Pontiac L75 V8, which that made 255 horsepower. The same power as a early 70s, I think it was 1971, 72, Buick Riviera Bowtail, which that made from a 7.5 liter 455 V8, 250 horsepower, as was seen in the Grand Tour Lockdown. It's not Lock, but Loch. LOCH, because it was in Scotland at that time, which Hammond still has the 71 or 72, I think, Buick Riviera Bowtail. Fantastic muscle car. Had that during COVID. Well, that was before they actually wore masks. It was a few days before, I think, they wore masks. I forgot. I haven't seen it for, God, like months right now. Anyways, so the next one we got is the L75, a 7.5 liter. Wait. I'm completely lost. So let's just do it again. So for both 1971 and 72, they both had the same exact inline six as 1970, but power was decreased from 155 to 110 horsepower. The next one we got is the L30 V8s, 5.7 liter 350, but this one is a CID version of the Pontiac V8, which made only 165 horsepower. So I got two versions of these 350 V8s, CID and standard. Standard one made 175 horsepower. Then we got the 6.6 liter Pontiac 400 L65 V8. The first one made 180 horsepower, second one 200 horsepower. Then we got another 6.6 liter Pontiac 400 V8, but it's the L78, which made 250 horsepower. Then we got the 7.5 liter Pontiac L75 455 V8, which made 255 horsepower. So 255 horsepower. Then we got the mighty big engine itself. The 7.5 liter 455 Pontiac LS5 high output, or so HO Ram Air 4 V8, which that made 305 horsepower, so 65 less than the LS1 for 1970. So for 1972, they both have, so just like 71, it had the same inline six, only 110 horsepower. This time, it had the same L30 V8, but it's not the CID, it's just a regular one. For 1972, it made 175 horsepower, so 10 horsepower more than the regular CID version of it. So 175 horsepower. Yeah, sort of 10 horsepower increase. It's a bit better, but still not so much. Not so much, anyways. I mean, even by today's standards, it's just considered a small amount of power for this car, like for the motor like that. So not so much. So not so much. So yeah, 175 horsepower. Then we got another version of the L65 6.6 liter Pontiac 400 V8, which that made 200 horsepower. So 200 horsepower. So 20 more than 180, but again, still not so much. So the same L78 as 1970. So both 71 and 72 had the same L78 motor. So the same exact L78 motor. For 1972, it didn't really have the motor, but it did, so presumably it might have been the same for 1971, which was a 7.5 liter 455 Pontiac L75 V8, which that made 255 horsepower. It doesn't say, but presumably it might have been the same engine. I think that's why. And this time for 1972, so both 1971 and 1972, they both had the same exact motors, a 7.5 liter 455 LS5 V8, both high outputs, whereas the first one for 71 was a Ram Air 4. The one in 1972 was just a standard standard 455 V8. Whereas the one in 1971 made 305 horsepower, the one in 1972 just made 300. So 5 horsepower less than 71, but still pretty much the same power output almost. Anyways, next up, the next one we got is 1973. So for 1973 to 1976, so it's throughout 1973, 74, 75, and all the way up to 1976, they had the exact same inline six, a 4 point, and pretty much the same inline six as previously, the 4.1 liter 250 Chevy L22 inline six, same power, well, different power actually, decreased from 110 to just 100 horsepower. 100 horsepower. Literally, it is just. But the next 6-cylinder motor is gonna be a little bit better, but still power output's not really good at all. But I'll say what it is in a bit. So you got 4.1, same exact 4.1 liter 250 Chevy L22 inline six, 100 horsepower. Excuse me, 100 horsepower. Unbelievable. 100 horsepower is nothing. But hopefully the V8s will do much better. Speaking of which, we're in the first one for 1973, which is the which is the 5.7 liter 5.7 liter um, 350 Pontiac L30 V8, which made between 150 to 175 horsepower. So 25 horsepower difference there. The, the next one we got is the same exact V8, the L30, but that made 155 to 170 horsepower. So again, not so much anyways. Then we got another version of the L30 V8, which that made 155 horsepower. Then we got another L30, another L30, which that made only 160 horsepower. So all these L30s were 5.7 liter 350 L30 V8s. So the power ups were a little bit different there. The next one we got is two versions of the L65 V8s, which were 6.6 liter Pontiac 400 V8s. The first one we got is the first L65 made between 170 to 185 horsepower. The second one made 190 horsepower. The next one we got is the L78. There's two versions. So the first one, the 6.6 liter, so both 6.6 liter, so we got both 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L78 V8s. The first one made a whopping 230 horsepower, whereas the second one made only 200. Then we got the 6.6 liter, another 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac V8. But this time, this was the L75, which made a whopping 250 horsepower, which was pretty good. The next motors we got two of them. We got both the mighty LS2s, both 7.5 liter 455 Pontiac SD V8s. And there's some power differences. The first one made between 290 to 310 horsepower, whereas the second one made only 290 horsepower. So whereas the second one made only 290 horsepower. And that was just pretty much it. Alright, next one we got is 1975. So, so 1975. Same as in 1974, same exact L30 V8, 155 horsepower. The next one we got is the for 1975 is the L76, 5.7 liter 350 Pontiac V8, but that made 175 horsepower, so 20 more. 20 more than the L30, from 155 to 175, but still, not so much anyways. So 175 horsepower from a 5.7 liter 350 L76 Pontiac V8. 175 horsepower is nothing really. Then we got so for both 1975 and 1976, they both have the exact same engines. So they both have the same 5.7 liter 350 L30 Pontiac V8, whereas the one in 1975 made 155 horsepower. The one in 1976 made 160 horsepower. Then for same story for the L76. Whereas the one in 1975 made 175 horsepower. The one in 1976 made only 165 horsepower. So it's a 10 horsepower difference there. Whereas the 6.6 liter Pontiac 400, whereas the 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L78 V8 For both 1975 and 1976, they they both made 185 horsepower. And for both 1975 and 1976, so for both 1975 and 1976, they both had the exact same big V8 motor, a 7.5 a 7.5 liter 455 Pontiac L75 HO, short for high output V8, both making 200 horsepower. The next one we got is 1977, all the way up until 1981. Then we got the production totals, and then I'll wrap it up for the Gen 2. Okay, so for 1977 up until 1978, 1979, 1980, and then up until 1980. So from 1977 all the way up until 1981, it had, as I mentioned before, this motor is just a pretty damn good engine. The mighty LD5, a 3.8 liter 230 Vol 231 Buick LD5 V6. That's right, as a Buick V6 into it this time. Which is unusual because I never knew that these Pontiac Trans Ams or Firebirds would have these V6 motors. At first I thought they were just with V8s, but I didn't know they had a V6 into it. I literally did not know. Well, I know Buick had like the V6s, you know, in their GNX and like Grand Nationals, which those are pretty good. I mean, tune them up, 400-500 horsepower, piece of cake, or even more than that. So yeah, for 77 and 81, they all had the same exact engine, a 3.8 liter 231 Buick LD5 V6, making 105 horsepower. Man, not so much anyways, but with a turbo it could have done a little bit better power, a little bit more better power output, but oh well, it's not really that much. Anyways, so starting off with the first one is 1977. So for the first V8, it's got a 4.9 liter 301, well 302 almost, Pontiac L27 V8, making 135 horsepower. In 1977, 135 horsepower. It's not really enough. 135 horsepower. The next one we got is the 5.7 liter 350 Pontiac L76, not the L27, but the L76 V8, making 170 horsepower. Yeah, sure, 35 horsepower more, but still not so much anyways. 170 horsepower is not really enough. And it makes the same power as the next engine, which is the 5.7 liter 350 Oldsmobile L34 V8, which also made 170 horsepower. Man, oh man. The next one we got is the 6. It's two versions of the 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac V8s. The first one is the L78, making 180 horsepower. The second one, so 180 horsepower. The second one was the W72. So the second one was the W72, making only just 200 horsepower. All right, next up. Next up is 1978. There was one more motor, but I'll I'll do that one once I finish the remaining few years. So of the motor. So for 1978, the first V8 it had was the 5 liter 305 LG was the 5 liter 305 Chevy LG3 V8, making 135 horsepower. Then we got a five. So it was a five liter 305 Chevy LG3 V8, making 135 horsepower. Then we got the 5.7 liter. Then we got the 5.7 liter, um, 5.7 liter 350 Chevy LM1 V8, making 170 horsepower. Then we got the 6.6 liter 400. Then we got the 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L78 V8, making 185 horsepower. Then we got the big engine itself, a 6 points. Wait. Damn, we'll just redo 1977. So 1977, its first V8 was the 4.9 liter 301 Pontiac L27 V8, making 135 horsepower. The second one was the 5, so it was a 4.9 liter. I'll just do it, I guess, to make it a little easier so I know which one I'm on. So for 1977, the first motor was the 4.9 liter 301 Pontiac L27 V8, making 100. So Pontiac L27 V8, making 155 horsepower. The second one was the 5.7 liter. So first was a 4.9 liter 301 Pontiac L27 V8, making 135 horsepower. The second one was the 5.7 liter 350 Pontiac L76 V8, making 170 horsepower. Then we got the 5.7 liter 350 Oldsmobile L34 V8, making the same power, 170 horsepower. Then we got a 6.6 liter 400. Then we got a 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L78 V8, making 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L78 V8, making 180 horsepower. Then we got the same engine but the W72 version with only just 200 horsepower. Now we got 1978. So for the first one from 1978 was the 5 liter 305 Chevy LG3 V8, making 135 horsepower. The second version was the 5.7 liter 350 Chevy LM1 V8, making only 170 horsepower. Then we got the same exact 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L78 V8, but made just a little bit more power, an extra 5 horsepower. So from 180 to 185, so 185 horsepower. Same with the Pontiac Aztec with a 3.4 liter V6. 185 horsepower is just nothing really. Then we got the W, the same exact 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac W72 V8, making this time from, so they got the same 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac W72 V8, making this time 220 horsepower, so 20 horsepower more than the previous W72 V8. The next one we got is 1979. So we got the same exact L27, so same exact power output technically. Then we got the L37, same 4.9 liters, 301, but this time it's a Pontiac L37 V8, which made 150 horsepower. Then we got a 5 liter 305 Chevy LG3 V8. So the Chevy L, so hold on. So 1978, 5 liter. So we got a 5 liter 305 LG, so Chevy LG3 V8, making 135 horsepower. We got the 5.7 liter 350 Chevy LM. So a 5.7 liter 350 Chevy LM1 V8, 170 horsepower. Then we got a 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac L78 V8, making 185 horsepower. Then we got another version of the W72 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac V8, which made from 200 to 220 horsepower, which is not bad, but it's pretty good, but still a little bit. Then we got the 4.9 liter 301 L27 Pontiac L27 V8, making 135 horsepower. Then we got another 4.9 liter 301, but this time it's a Pontiac L37 V8, making 150 horsepower. Then we got the 5 liter, so those two are 4.9 liters. Then we get the next one we got is a 5 liter 305 Chevy LG3 V8, making either 130, so like it's between 135 to 150 horsepower, either one. Then we got a 5.7 liter. Then we got a 5.7 liter 350 Chevy LM1 V8, making 170 horsepower. So for both 1978 and 1979, they both have the same engine as 1977. So both 1978 and 79, they have the same exact engine, a 6.6 liter 400 Pontiac W72 V8, this time making from 200 to 220 horsepower. Now the motor that I didn't tell you about just yet, because this one was for all 3 of these years, from 1977 all the way up until 1979. So 1977, 1978, and all the way up until 1979, the end of the 70s. The 6.6 liter 403, so the 6.6 liter 403, so 403 Oldsmobile L80 V8, making 185 horsepower. So now we got 1980 and then 1981. So from 71 to 81, that's what I'm sorry. From 77 to 81, they all had the same exact 3.8 liter 231 Buick LD5 V6, making 105 horsepower. Just want to remind you again if you forgot. So for 1980, it's got a 4.9. It's got another 4.9 liter 301 Pontiac V8, well 302, but it's now known as the L37, not L27, but L37 V8, making only 140 140 horsepower, so 5 horsepower more, but just a little increase, but not so much anyways. So 135 to 140 horsepower, but still, that's not so much. The next the next one we got is the W72, a 4.9 liter 301 Pontiac W72 ECV8, making 155 horsepower. So then the L37. So yeah, so we got 4.9 liter. So we got two versions of the 4.9 liter. So 4.9 liter 301 V8s. The first one was the Pontiac L37 V8, making 140 horsepower. Then the second one was the Pontiac W72 ECV8, making 155 horsepower. So 15 more than the L37, but still not so much. The last but certainly not the very least, we got is 1981. So then I got two more after that. So the first one was the 4.3 liter, was the 4.3 liter 265 LS, so 4.3 liter 265 LS5, so Pontiac LS5 V8 motor, making 140 horsepower. Then we got another 4.9 liter V8, but this time it's a 4.9 liter 301 L37 Pontiac ECV8, making 155 horsepower. Now we got down to the final two. So the second to last one was the 4.9 liter 301 Pontiac LU8, so LU8 turbo V8, making 210 horsepower. And last but certainly not the very least, we got is the 5 liter 305 Chevy LG4, so Chevy LG4 V8, so LG4 V8, making 150 horsepower. Last but certainly not the very least, now to wrap up the Gen 2, is production totals. So for the production totals, this is from the production totals. This is for the model years from 1970 to 1981. So there's four different versions. So there's four different versions of the car. So there's the base, Esprit, Formula, and the Trans Am. Then we got the total of how many cars were produced, and I'm not gonna know like how much it is in total, but after this video is done, I'll put that in the comments below of how many are made in total. So I'll just add up the total and then put down the answer of how many cars were made in total, like the grand total of how many were made, in the comments below, so you guys know just how much they are. My guess would probably be at least maybe around, I'd say at least over a million, I think. I got no idea. Maybe 1.1, 1.05 million. I'm not too sure about that, but I don't know. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, so the first one is 1970. So for the base model, they made so I'm gonna do like each one from each year from these different versions because it's gonna get too confusing if I do like one bit by one bit from different categories. So for the base model, starting off, so for the base model first, we got the first one from 1970. They made 18,000 18,000, not 80, but 18,000 874 back in 1970, which is not bad. Well, produced actually, produced 18,874 for 1970. In 1971, in 1971, they made 23,021. In 1972, 12,001. 1973, 14,096. 1974, 26,000, 26,372. 1975, 22,000. So 1975, so 1974, 26,372. 1975, 22,293. 1976, so 1976, 21,206. So 1975, 22,293. 1976, 21,206. 1977, 30,642 back in 1977. 1978, 300, 1978, 32,631. So 32,631. So 32,631. So 32,631 for 1978. 1971, 1979, sorry, 1979, 38,000, 38,642. So that's 1979, 1979, 38,642. 1980, 29,000, 29,811. So 1980, 29,811. 1981, 20,541. Next up is the Esprit versions. So category 2, the Esprit. So for 1970, 18,000, 18,009. 18,000 900 18,961. 18,961. 71. So 1971, 20,000 20,185. So 20,185. So 1971, so 20,185. If I get this done in under an hour, that'd be great. So 20,185. 1972, 11,415. back in 1972, 1973, 17,249. 1970, 1974, 22,000. So 1974, 22,583. So 22,583. So it's 1974. 1975, 20,826. 1976, so 20,826. 1976, 22,252. 1977, 34,548. 1978, 36,000. 36,928. Not 28, sorry. 36,926. Sorry, screwed up. I'm getting a little bit tired. 1979, 30,853. So it's 1979. 1980, 17,270. 17,000. So 17,000. 17,227. So 17,277. So 17,277. And 1981, 10,938. Next one, category 3, formula. So for 1970, they made 7,708 back in 1970. So back in 1970, so 1970, they made 7,708. 1971, 7,802. So 1971, 7,802. 1971, not 1971, 1972. So 1972, sorry. 5,248. Not 48, sorry. 5,249, sorry. Back in 1972. So 5,249. 1973, 10,166. So 10,166. Back in 1973, 1974, 14,519. 14,519. Back in 1974, 1975, 13,670. 1976, 20,613. 1977, 21,801. 1978, 24,346. 1979, so say 1978, 24,346. 1979, 24,850. 1980, 9,350. 1980, 9,356. And 1981, 5,927. Now we got the final one, last but certainly not the very least, the Trans Am, one of the most iconic versions. So, for 1970, for the Trans Am, they made 3,196. So 3,196. So 3,196. Back in 1970. In 1971, they made 2,116. Back in 1971. 1972, 1,286. 1973, 4,802. 1974, 10,255. So 10,255. Um, um, 1975. 27,274. 1976. 46,704. 1977. So 1976. 1977. 68,744. So 68,744. So it's 1977. 1978. 93,000. 341. 1979, a whopping 117,000. 117,108. So 117,108. 1980. So 1980. So 1980. 50,000. 50,000. 50,000. 50,000. So 50,800. 50,896. And last person that they released is 1981 with 33,493. Now, gotta do the total. Say the total. So I will add these up in total, and I'll put them down. I'll put them down in the comments. I'll put them down in the comments below how many were made in total. For the base, spree, formula, transam, and the total all together. So throughout the years as well. So the total in 1970 was 48,000. 48,790. So 48,739. So 48,700. So 48,790. So 48,739. So 48,739. So 48,739. 1971. 53,125. So 53,125 back in 1971. 1972, 29,951. 1973, 46,313. 1974, 73,729. 1975, 84,063. So 1974, 73,729. 1975, 1975. Excuse me. 1975. So 1975. 84,063. So 84,063. 1975, 84,063. 1976, 110,000. 110,000. 775. So 1976. 1977. So 1977, 155,000. 155,735. In 1978, 187,294. Say 187,000. So 187,000. 187,294. In 1979, 211, 211,000, so 211,453. So it's 1979. In 1980, in 1980, 107,000, 107,000, so 107,000, so 107,340. And last but certainly not the very least is 1981. 70,899. Well, 70,900 technically if you round up closer. Alright, so that is officially it for the Gen 2 Firebird. So for my next Alright, so that is officially it for the Gen 2 Firebird. So for my next Pontiac Firebird video will be about my most favorite version of the Trans Am, the Gen 3 Firebird. Well, Trans Am technically, but whatever. Will be by the Gen 3 from 1982 to 1992. So this is gonna be pretty exciting. So that'll be for my next video. So if you guys like this video, excuse me by the way, I just keep coughing. I'm just trying to kill it out, like just kill this cold. So it's just killing me. Ugh, I'm tired right now. So for my next Pontiac Firebird video will be about the Gen 3 Firebird from 1982 to 1982, so 1982 to 1992. So this is gonna be pretty exciting. So for my next video will be about the Gen 3 Firebird from 1982 to 1992. So that'll be it. If you guys like this video, like, subscribe, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell, and hit all so you're alerted of when I make brain uploads. So hit all so you're alerted when I make brain uploads. Alright, so that'll be it. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Have a great evening, and have a great day tomorrow morning. Wait, I gotta check the time real quick. 1:04 a.m. Oh my god, I let it check. I hit sleep still. So that'll be it. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So if you guys like this video, like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell, and hit all so you're alerted when I make brain uploads. Okay, so that'll be it. I gotta go. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Stay safe. Have a great morning, and also have a great day. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. Like God. Yeah. Get a quick drink. Now, so again, if you guys like this video, like, subscribe, comment, like, subscribe, comment below what you guys think. Hit the notification bell, and hit all so later when I make brand uploads. Okay, so that'll be it. I gotta go. So I gotta go. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Have a great morning, and also have a great day. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there. Wish you guys a very happy Christmas Eve, and happy Christmas, and happy New Year as well. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there. So yeah, I gotta go. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, stay safe. Have a great morning, and have a great day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there. Wish you guys a very happy Christmas Eve, and a very happy Christmas, and a very happy New Year as well. And I'll see you guys soon in the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.